right now when I say this.
I'm going to get emotional.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Lambton College Studios and our school sync session series. A little bit of a mouthful, but we're happy to have you here with us tonight. Tonight is the last episode of our series, and we have saved the best for last in one of our program areas. Tonight is all about our skilled trades opportunities within the college. So you're going to learn from a wide variety of our faculty members this evening. You're going to hear what our students are currently doing, what you could experience as a student in our Skilled Trades Training Center, which I'm standing in right now, along with a number of our people joining us this evening as well. So we're really excited to showcase what these programs have in store. This is a really great event if you have an offer to Lambton College, if you are exploring programs to Lambton College, or if you just have general questions about Lambton. That's what we're here to help you with. So if you do have any questions, feel free to post them in the comment section of YouTube, and we'll be able to address those throughout the broadcast this evening. So to kick things off, we do want to obviously get an update in terms of what's happening in the fall and what you could expect as a student entering a Lambton College program. So to bring you greetings from the school and provide you an update for the fall, I'm going to welcome Joel Van Bynen, the Associate Dean of Technology and Trades. Joel, take it away.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to our sync session. And as Sean said, coming at you live from the virtual studios and the live studios where all of our live labs and hands-on activities happen. You'll see me in my background. I'm in the HVAC shop in the refrigeration lab right now. So that's a little bit about the activity that you're seeing in behind me, or the lab space that you're seeing in behind me. And as Sean said earlier, I'm here to give you a little update on what's been happening for us and what we can expect for the fall, and what kinds of things that you as new students could expect, and also for returning students as well. We are expecting a full return to face-to-face class delivery come the fall. However, all of this is, of course, contingent on what happens with COVID and how many vaccines get administered over the summer, where the numbers look, and what the health unit says for us at the end of the day. So we're really hoping for the best and planning for the worst. It has been all along, all through this COVID outbreak, a great opportunity for students to come into this space, to get their hands on the activities, to meet face-to-face with their professors in a safe and socially distanced way, and to participate in all these hands-on activities that go on. A little over half of the learning that you do here at Lambton College is going to be hands-on. So regardless of what format we return to in the fall, it's going to be exciting, exhilarating, engaging, and done by one of the really great strengths of Lambton College is the folks that you're going to meet today, our staff and faculty, and the way that we administer our programs. And you're going to see some really cool and innovative things going on tonight. You're going to get some insight and into some really great programs and projects, and some of the activities that students get to engage in when they're here with us at Lambton. I just wanted to say, Sean, just anecdotally, anybody with an active offer that's out there right now, you guys should really act on those right now. Our spaces are filling up quick, and we're expecting full classes come the fall. So if you're interested in any of the sessions that you've seen throughout any of the sessions that we've had here at the college through these live sessions, by all means, reach out and engage with our registrar's office. Get your applications filled out and your fees paid, and we will get started with registering you as a student. So engaging, I guess the message I'm trying to say is engage in those active offers, and get your offers confirmed today, or risk losing your space. So I'm going to turn it back to you, Sean. Thanks for that great intro.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Joel, and thank you for bringing the update in terms of what we can expect for the fall. One other thing, just to kind of highlight what Joel was talking about, obviously, if you have an active offer, again, consider confirming sooner rather than later. One of the incentives that we do have for anybody that's attending any of these events over the course of May, if you confirm your offer by the end of May, so next Monday is May 31st, and you have an active offer, you confirm your offer, you will be entered into a draw to win your tuition. So again, a really great incentive. If you're planning on attending Lambton College, make sure you get your confirmation in by that date, because you could potentially get your first year's tuition on us, which is a huge cost savings piece for you there. So again, by May 31st, confirm your offer. The only other piece that I want to highlight is just keep an eye on your email. That is one of the #1 forms of communication to our students. So my best piece of advice is just make sure you are checking your email on the regular, especially after you confirm. You can expect quite a few pieces of communication from the registrar's office, who look after making sure you're registered appropriately into your program. So just keep an eye on your email. It's the best way to stay connected with Lambton and make sure you're as up to date as possible. Would be one of my best tips for you. Okay, so I think we'll just dive right into the first program of the evening, and that is going to be our renovation construction technician program. So we have John Timmers, who is the coordinator, joining us from his lab. So we will go ahead and welcome him, and he will provide his overview for his program.
All right, good evening, guys. I'm John Timmers, and I'm the coordinator of the construction carpentry programs here at Lambton. Welcome to my shop today. Today we're going to be looking at a little bit of interactive component and showing you what we do in the classroom and we do in the shop. So what I want to show you a little bit about today is how we cut a stair stringer. And when we go through the stair portion of it, guys and ladies, I really emphasize the importance of the theory work, because again, without the theory work, we don't get the results that we're looking for. So what I want to show you today is you can go to Home Depot and you can purchase a stair stringer for a set of stairs, or you can do it the right way and come and learn with me today. So just a few things. I'm going to direct you over to the board here. And when we find a set of stairs, or when we go to cut a set of stairs, there's 4 components that we have to find. Number 1 would be find the total height. Okay, so that's your floor to floor measurement. That would be, say, from your basement floor to your main floor. We got to find the number of risers. Those are the number of steps that I'm moving up the stair. Then we're going to find the unit rise. Okay, so the unit rise is the height of each step. And we're going to find the unit run, which again is the tread or what we're stepping on. Okay, so for this demonstration, we are looking for our optimal rise and run for the stairs is 7 inches. So if we're trying to build a set of stairs, we're going to try and get the unit rise as close to 7 inches as possible. And we're going to try and shoot for 10 inches for our unit run. Okay, so if I add both of those up, those are 17 inches, and we'll just remember that back there. So for the demonstration today, guys, I'm just going to pick our table over here. So if I'm going to measure my floor to floor height, okay, I'm going to measure from the bottom of my floor right to the top of the table here. And that gives me 33 3/4 inches, or 33.75 inches. So when we do the math, first, number 1, we found the total height, okay, and we get 33.75 inches. Number 2, we need to find the number of risers or steps in the stair. So what I end up doing is I take my total rise, I divide it by my optimal rise, gives me 4.821 steps. Okay, so when we're looking at this, we can't have 4.8 steps. We either have to round up or we got to round down. In this case here, we're above 0.5, so I'm going to round up to 5 steps. All right. Next, I need to find the unit rise, okay, which is going to be the height of each step, and we're going to try and get as close to 7 as possible. So what we do here is we found our steps. I take my total rise, I divide it into my number of steps, which equals 6.75 inches. Okay. And 6.75, if we were to go to a fraction with that, gives us 6 3/4. And number 4 here, find the unit run, is 17 inches. So the sum of a unit rise and a unit run. Okay, 17 inches minus my unit rise, which is 6.75, gives me 10.25 or 10 1/4. Okay, so that would be some of the theory that we would take in the class. Now this is our basic stair process that we use in the school. So what we're going to end up doing, guys, is we do much more harder calculations. We do house stringers. So this step here, or these stairs here that I'm showing you today, is basically for a set of deck stairs. Okay, so it's basically building a set of deck stairs just for a simple set. So again, I'm going to I've got my stair stringers, I got my stair guides here. Okay, so I put 10 1/4 on this side here. I'm putting 6 3/4 here. Okay, and then here is now my step. Now these little guys are handy, and I would tell you why in some of the theory portion of it. So I'm going to mark it out now. So if we want to bring the camera in a little bit closer, I know I have five stairs, or 5 steps. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And this one here, guys, is your floor. Okay? So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to finish off the stair by making this come all the way back through. Okay? So this would be the bottom. Okay? This one over here is the top. All right? And what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to finish off this cut for the top of the stair like so. Okay? And then I would cut here, 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 and I would cut this line all the way through. Okay, I would cut this line all the way through, and I'm also going to cut this line all the way through. Okay, so now, before I cut this, you would see something like this, okay? And by now, hopefully, you're making out the set of stairs that I'm going to cut for you here. Okay? So just let me, I'm going to clamp this down because I don't have a partner. So usually when we're in class, guys, usually we have a partner that helps us to work together to kind of help each other get stuff done. Also to basically read off each other, ask each other questions, and so on and so forth. So we do a lot of, really do a lot of group work in this course. And for that fact. So I'm going to do my cut here now. So it's going to get a little loud here. Better put my safety glasses on. And I will make some cuts here. Try that one more time. Cut one, come over this side. Two. switch around now, just so that I'm not going to cut into my table here. But as you can see, as we are cutting these guys, I'm basically gets to a point here where I can't cut any further because I'm going to cut into my stringer. So at another point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my old trusty handsaw here, and we're going to finish off these cuts, just like so. So I'm going to tighten this one down, and we're going to finish off the cut. Okay, so now I'm going to start this way. And I can actually finish. This is my bottom here. And this little saw. All right, one last cut. Okay, so at this point, guys, I have my stair stringer cut. Okay, so now basically I'm just going to finish it off here with my handsaw. How am I doing for time? Okay, there's one. One. Actually, I can. That one. Two. There's that one. And three. Okay. So here's my stair stringer now. And we are going to bring it over to our height of our demonstration piece here, okay? And I should have an even number going all the way up. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and the last one is at the top here. Now I could use this as a pattern, and I could make them for as many stairs as I want, okay? So this is just an example of the theory and the practicality that we use here at Lambton College in the Renovation Construction Technician and the Carpentry Construction Techniques program. Okay, thanks guys.
Awesome. Thanks so much, John. That was a really great. So thank you for your overview. That was awesome.
Still live?
Okay, so we're going to get ready for the next program, and that's going to be our electrical program. So we're just going to wait just a second until we get over to that lab. We're excited to showcase that facility off as well. So other pieces to keep in mind, I know some of you might be looking at how to support the financial aid and OSAP. So there's a couple pieces that are available for students. Obviously, OSAP is available for all post-secondary students enrolling in a public college or university. That's available. I do believe OSAP opened last week, so the application service is now available on the OSAP website, so go ahead and check that out. The other thing too is Lambton does offer a lot of scholarships and bursaries. So we have over $1 million in scholarship and bursary funding. So there's a lot of free money available. So if you are looking at looking for scholarship and bursary opportunities, go to our website, and then you can see exactly what is available for you from that perspective as well. So definitely check that out. We often don't give out all the money that we have available because students just don't apply for the scholarships that are waiting for them. So I definitely encourage you to go ahead and look at the website, take a look at what you qualify for, and then submit your applications that way as well. So yeah, I think at this point in time, we will go ahead and welcome our electrical coordinator, and that is Stephen Tigler. So he is joining us from his shop in the Skilled Trades Training Center. He's going to give the overview for his program as well. So we'll see if Steve is ready to go. And there he is. Awesome. Steve, take it away.
Good day, everyone. My name is Steve Tiglar, and I'm the coordinator of the Electrical Techniques and Power Distribution and Control Technician programs. I have the pleasure of being here in the electrical shop, the main electrical shop here at Lambton College. This shop is shared by electrical technique students, power distribution students, and the electrical apprenticeship students. So it's state-of-the-art equipment. It's being for multiple programs. We have many different types of wiring that we do in the shop, and it's real-world wiring. Before I get into a couple labs that we've got pre-set up, I just want to give you a very brief introduction into the two programs. And of course, if you have any more questions about it, please reach out to me. My information will come up on the screen at some point, or you can go to the Lambton College Electrical Techniques website or Power Distribution and Control Technician website for more information. So first off, let me just say that the electrical field is a very broad field. Many different types of opportunities. You have residential, industrial, commercial wiring. You can be an electrician, you can be a technician, you can go into engineering, which is more design. There's troubleshooting, maintenance, wholesale, production and control, distribution, transmission, generation, many different types of fields. And you think even in the Sarnia, like especially in the Sarnia region here, we have many different types of different types of industry. So there's many opportunities for you if you choose to go into the electrical field. The Electrical Techniques program is a one-year program, essentially an 8-month program, 2 terms. It provides very foundational skills, fundamental skills. Your main courses would be electrical theory, electronics, code, installation, which we're going to talk about more when I go through some of the labs, or 2 of the labs in this shop. And then the power distribution program is the same first year as the Electrical Techniques program, with the exception of the math course. If you're going into the Electrical Techniques program or you're thinking about it, make sure you check that out and take the higher level math course so you're ready for power distribution if you're thinking that's an option. So each course in either program typically has a theory component and a lab component. So in the theory component, we're going to get into how things work, how electricity works, how we look at the code, we look at how you wire things up, and then the lab comes behind that, and we actually, usually the same week or the week after, and then we look at actually doing it. So theory is a very important part of it, as is the wiring piece. So what I'm going to do briefly here is, due to safety reasons and time constraints, I just have a couple labs set up, and I'm not going to actually be doing any wiring today just because it is time consuming. So I'm going to walk over to the residential side of the shop. Right now we're on the industrial side. You can see that there's 12 stations. Okay, and we're going to come back to this momentarily. But just to walk over to the electrical side of the shop, and one thing, safety. So you can see I've got my safety glasses on, my safety shoes on. We have disconnects at every station. So here we have a disconnect with a lock on it. And then there's main disconnects that feed that whole row of stations. So I've already closed that disconnect switch. Okay, so it's on. And I've closed this breaker, basically, so it's on. You can see there's no lock on. I've pre-removed the lock. Okay, now each student coming into this program will require a lock. It's very important that we practice these safety procedures because when you get out into the field, this is something that you're going to need to do. Safety is paramount in the field as it is here at the college. So what we have pre-set up here is a three-way start-stops, three-way circuit, lighting circuit. So this is a very typical circuit that you're going to see in your house. If you've ever been noticed in your house, you'll have a switch at the top of the stairs and a switch at the bottom of the stairs. Okay, and that's essentially to allow you to turn on a light from two different places. Right, so I can turn on the light from here, I go to the top of the stairs, and I can turn off the light. Right, or if I'm at the top of the stairs, I turn on the light, and vice versa. Now it's very simple, but what you don't see hidden behind this is the wiring that runs in these conduits and in these boxes. So as a student, you would wire the circuit up. Before that point, you'd be in a class, of course, where you get the theory behind it and the code behind it. You would then wire it up, and then you would test it in the lab. You would actually turn power on. So before you wire it up, you would have, of course, the disconnect off with the lock on, and then you wire it. Once you're ready and the instructor checks your work, the disconnect would be closed, and you would then be able to test your circuit out and demonstrate to your instructor that you've done the work properly. So just to show what I'm referring to, kind of working in reverse. If you were going to wire the circuit up, you'd start in this condition here. We'd be able to open up these boxes and basically run the wiring that would allow us to set up a three-way lighting circuit, very common circuit. You're also going to get into many different types of wiring in this lab. Standard lighting circuits, dryer receptacles, your main electrical panel. You can see here we have a fire alarm panel, the main panel there. And there's many, many different types of circuits you're going to get into on this side of the lab, including conduit bending, and just understanding, box fill, how many wires you can have in a box. So these are your different types of boxes here. Okay, so this is the residential side of the lab. So you can see we have many different stations, and this often affords people the opportunity to work individually, sometimes groups of two, depending on the situation. So let's go back to the industrial side of the lab, and get a circuit that's pre-wired, and this is a standard start-stop circuit. So now on the industrial side of the lab, before I show you how the circuit works, just to give you a bit of a rundown on what's on the industrial side, you have your industrial control panel. You notice on the front, you have all these different, what are called pilot devices. So push buttons, right? I can push this in. I'm not too worried right now because it's locked out. You have your selector switches. You have what's called a potentiometer, which you can use to vary speed. You have an e-stop, okay? Many different, and down here you have lighting indicators. So you can actually see what's happening. This is a touch screen, which connects to an industrial computer, which you can set up to do any number of things. Displaying information, you can start and stop a process. Many different types of operations can be done there. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to show you the start-stop circuit. Start-stop circuit is probably the most common type of industrial circuit. And as you can see, this has been pre-wired. It would have been wired with the disconnect off or open, okay, and the lock on. So if I push this button here, you can see the motor start to turn. Now this start-stop circuit is connected to a drive inside the panel, which I'll show you in a moment. And that allows the motor to ramp up to speed slowly. It also allows you to adjust the speed. So that's the start button. Okay, now when I press the stop button, you see the motor ramping down and slowing down to stop condition. Okay, so this is arguably the most common type of circuit you're going to see in the industrial field: start-stop motor control. Okay, and this is a three-phase motor. This is a single-phase motor, and we'll get much more into detail if you come into the programs. You'll get much more detail on how each one of those works. Okay, so before I open that, let me just put the lock back on. Okay, so again, we're going to follow good wiring practices and good safety practices when we're working with our panels. Okay, so just to open it up, what you have inside the panel is you can see the back side of all of our pilot devices. Okay, I'm just going to grab something plastic here just for safety. So you have the back side of all of our pilot devices. And you can see the start and stop buttons here are wired into the main panel. And this is where we have like a motor starter. This is where we have the variable frequency drive, which is controlling that motor. Okay, so the wiring goes to this variable frequency drive, the power goes to the motor, and the drive is controlling the speed of the motor. Inside the panel, you also see transformers, there's fusing, there's DC power supply, an industrial computer called a PLC, motor contactor, and then more transformers at the bottom. So it's very open, flexible, I should say, to do many different types of labs, many different types of real world wiring that you would encounter out in the field. One thing to note is you'll see the purple wiring, or the violet. That's all permanent wiring. That's always there. Okay, so when this was wired, the blue wiring is wiring that you would have done in the lab if you were in the program. Okay, so hopefully that's clear. One thing I should mention too, these are called terminal blocks. Okay, so terminal blocks allow connections from the drive, purple wiring, and then we connect from here to here. So it makes the connection between this point and this point to the drive. Okay, so in this lab as well, you will get exposure to many different types of tools, and I don't by all means have all the tools that you'll get exposure to. But that's the beauty of this lab is it's all real world wiring, right? You've got your screwdrivers, various types, Robertsons, Phillips, your level, wire stripper, pliers. You can have channel locks. You got a multimeter here, terminating screwdriver, which will be used for those terminal blocks. Of course, your safety glasses, you'll need the lock for your safety locks. And that's, it's a great exposure to the real world. I should just add on to that we talked about other courses, and there are many other labs. There's an instrumentation lab, an electronics lab, there's a motor control lab in the on main campus. If you ever want to get a tour of any of those labs, please reach out to Lambton College and we'll set something up for you. As I mentioned at the beginning, I only really touched on the program part of it, just about 2 minutes information. There's a lot more information that you could get by looking online or reaching out to me directly. And my understanding is that information will be provided on the screen. So that's it. Thanks for your time. Thank you for your interest in Lambton College. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me. Thank you.
Awesome. That was another great overview of another fantastic program. I think hopefully everyone that's viewing tonight an inside look at what our students actually experience inside of our programming. So that's awesome to see everything that our students can do inside of our labs, all the spaces that we have, and our faculty as well. I think you can tell that our faculty are here to support you in the program. They're here to showcase and help you get the skills that you need and make sure you're getting the most of the experience that you're signing up for at Lambton. So we appreciate our faculty members, and we also love the fact that we're able to welcome students currently on campus right now, and hopefully even more in the fall. So I think there's a lot more opportunity to make sure you're getting those hands-on skills, which is so critical. The other piece that I want to highlight as well that I know so many people have mentioned is there's lots of jobs in skilled trades right now, so there are lots of opportunities for employment upon graduation. We know that that's a big piece when you're looking at programming. So skilled trades, there's definitely a plethora of positions available, so typically our students aren't searching for jobs for very long once they graduate our program. So I always want to highlight the career opportunities and the job prospects upon graduation, because that is, again, a big piece of the puzzle when you're looking at enrolling into a college program. So the next program that we're going to learn about is our HVAC program, and that is one of the newer programs that we've started at the college. It's only been around for a couple years now, so it is pretty new. We have a brand new lab, a brand new space, but we have a great team of professionals that are showing our students everything that's available with heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. So with that in mind, I'm going to welcome Greg to the stage, to the screen, and he's going to showcase what's happening inside of his program.
Hi, I'm Greg Taylor, Coordinator of Heating, Ventilation, and Air Conditioning here at Lambton College. Today I wanted to show you or give you a little bit of a demonstration of an exercise that we do all the time when it comes to refrigeration and air conditioning type systems. One of the things that we use is copper tubing to be able to join the indoor and outdoor sections of the air conditioning system. So we commonly will use this out in the field, and these are common practices that we do. At Lambton College, we try and strive to make sure that all the students get the best experience that they possibly can to ensure that they are awesome for our employers. Because the better you are at your job, definitely the more employment will come and see Lambton College graduates as far as new grads are concerned. So the HVAC program is definitely one that's new here at Lambton College, but I've been in the HVAC field for over 30 years and have been instructing for close to 20. So I have a wealth of experience, and the staff that we have here at Lambton is definitely going to be able to show you lots in the HVAC field, and we want to make every moment applicable to the job that you're going to be doing in the field itself. So one of the applications which I want to go through here is unrolling some copper tubing, and then I'm going to show you some bending and brazing applications of that copper tubing. Again, real common things that we do in the field. So soft copper tubing, which we normally use, comes in a roll. You'll notice that this roll has some caps on the end of it or some tape on the end of it. The reason that we do that is we want to make sure that there's no dust or debris or any contaminants that can get inside the tubing. So once we cut the tubing, it's always very important that we cap up that tubing itself. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to put this down on the floor and start to unroll the tubing. So it's very important that when we start to unroll this tubing, we find a really nice flat surface, and the better the job that we do rolling out the tubing, the better the job is going to look. That tubing, if we can keep it as straight as we possibly can, makes it a much nicer job. So you can see, if we're careful rolling off that piece, we're able to go ahead and have a nice straight piece for this application. Now I'm going to take a tube cutter here, and I'm going to cut the tubing itself. Just going to kind of hold the roll so it doesn't bounce. And that's simple to be able to cut that tubing. I'll cap that up later. I'll make sure to do that before any debris gets in it. Another process that we do a lot of times in our application is we ream the tubing. So on the back of the actual tube cutter itself, we have a blade reamer. So that is going to allow us to spin around inside that tube and remove an inside burr that was caused by the tube cutter. So once we've made sure that that burr is removed, and again, we're going to point this down to make sure that the debris falls out. We don't want that falling in our tube. Now I can go ahead and use this tube, or a similar tube, which I already have over here, to be able to demonstrate another step. Another common thing that we'll do is bend the tubing. And of course, you can do this freehand, but with soft copper tubing, it can become very challenging. So I have a tool here called a mechanical tube bender. And the mechanical tube bender, if you will, once I've got everything lined up here, will allow us to bend that tube to a various amount of degree. Now, most commonly, we're going to go 90 degrees, so I'm going to keep clicking until I get to the 90-degree point. And again, it's all done by eye, at which point I can back this off. And now I have my tube, as you can see, bent to a 90-degree angle. Now, also learning here at Lambton College, one of the things that I like to show students is how we can take that, and with a measurement, we can make sure at that point that if we had that tube running between two, let's say, areas of walls, I can have it formed back a different direction. So we teach students basically the distance between one end of the tube and the other, so that they can go ahead and recreate this when they're out in the field at a customer's house. So not only is this an air conditioning type of application or refrigeration, but copper tubing is also commonly used for gas lines as well. So this is a skill that can cross between air conditioning and refrigeration, as well as the gas portion of the course itself. So the next thing that I'm going to show you here is I'm going to prepare, or basically lock this tube in, and then I'm going to show you another little trick that we use called swedging. And swedging is going to be used a lot of times where we're going to join two tubes together. Now we could use a fitting, sometimes like an elbow as an example, and a lot of times people may be very common with an elbow being used. So I could go ahead and put an elbow in there and braze this situation up. The problem that we've got is now we have two joints that could possibly leak. Whenever we can limit the amount of joints that we're doing, it's always a better process. So I could use my mechanical tube bender, like I just showed you, to bend a tube instead of having a joint, which is going to prevent, hopefully, leakage in the future. The next tool which I'm going to use is going to be called a swedging tool. And that swedging tool, if you will, is going to go down inside the tube, and then as I activate, it basically expands the soft copper tubing to allow now for another piece of the same size copper tubing to fit in to that application. There we go, we've got that all set. So now, one of the things that we'll do is we will braze the tube using an oxyacetylene torch. Now, a lot of times in the HVAC industry, students will have the ability, or technicians will use the ability, to braze using either an oxyacetylene torch, which is what I have here, or what we call a turbo torch. And we offer students training in both facets so that they're used to using both types of torch for this type of application. So this is known as silfossing, or a type of brazing. So I'm going to go ahead, heat up my metal, and then I'm basically going to heat around the bottom of the socket of this copper. And as I do that, this filler rod is going to fill up the socket and have a complete bond. Now, if we were doing this in air conditioning or refrigeration, we would have actually nitrogen going through our copper tubing as we are performing this process, because there's oxidation that forms on the inside of the tubing, which can be detrimental to the refrigerant that will eventually flow through the system itself. So we have two lines that we'll do this with. This is the 3/4 inch suction line, as it's known, on a residential air conditioning system. We also have a smaller line, usually a 3/8 inch, called the liquid line, which we will also perform this process with. So I really hope that a lot of people out there that are thinking about getting into trades, HVAC is a great trade. Everybody in the world needs us. So we're definitely somebody that you should be interested in. And here at Lambton, we're doing everything we possibly can to make our program the premier place for refrigeration and air conditioning and heating training in the province of Ontario.
Awesome. That was great, Greg. Again, thank you so much for the demonstration and showcasing what your program is all about. I also really appreciate the pyrotechnics that you added. It was really cool. So thanks so much. And we are going to be continuing along. Again, you're seeing so much about our skilled trades programs tonight. It's a really great overview and all that fun stuff. So again, also if you have any questions, let us know. I'm happy to answer them. We're happy to answer them. We have a whole team of Lambton College staff and faculty on available for you. So we're more than happy to address any questions that you might have. So we're going to continue along. So you just heard from one of our newer programs. Now we're going to learn from one of our mainstay programs, our Millwright program that's been around at the college for many years. We have seen countless students walk through our doors and graduate into really great career paths. And the person leading the charge with our Millwright program is Ken Graham. So I'm going to welcome him, and he's going to talk to you all about what's happening with his program right now. So Ken, take it away.
Hello, everyone. I am the program coordinator for the Millwright program at Lambton College. As you will see, I am not in a lab space right now, and one of the reasons for that is the Millwright program utilizes many different lab spaces. The Millwright trade is known as one of the largest all-encompassing trades that you can learn in. Basically, a lot of the trades you're learning about tonight and the instructors are demonstrating, the Millwright trade has sections of all the other trades kind of inside it. So in the Millwright trade, you will work with pumps and turbines and compressors. You will work with robots, PLCs, electrical. There are so many things you get into, pneumatics and hydraulics. And I'm going to talk about them a little bit. We've got a few videos of 3 of our shop spaces that they're going to come up in your screen here shortly. And once they begin, I'm going to kind of walk you through on some of the projects and the shops that you'll actually get hands-on experience with. So right there we have our machine shop. Inside the machine shop, your first year, you'll get a fair amount of machining. As you're coming through there, right in front of you, there are some mills. What will happen in this class is the instructor, who's a dual-ticketed machinist and millwright, will take you through a project, assign a couple projects where you will get a piece of metal or you'll get some metal. You will cut that metal down. You will have a drawing, and you will have to build something. I know there's slide hammers and vices and things like that he gives. He'll give different projects each year on what you'll actually build. So there's a setup for the mills and tooling for it. On your left-hand side there's some micrometers and verniers and your cutters. So there's a fair amount of equipment you'll get into. You'll have to take precise measurements as you're building your project. They'll teach you how to use every one of these tools that you see coming through. There are some bandsaws there to your right, and as we come to the back, I believe you'll see a heat treat station where you'll actually heat the metal and harden it. And then we have another bandsaw there for cutting metal. So basically, you'll learn everything on how to make projects and fabricate things out of metal in this class. You'll get a fair amount of it. And one thing I'll mention as we go through, because this can be very intimidating once you start seeing it if you haven't worked with equipment like this before. And like I say, we're going to go through a robotics lab, we're going to go through a pneumatics lab, and then the main millwright shop. There's a lot of equipment that you're going to be working on, and when you come into the college and you register and you start the program, you're not expected to know what everything is and how it works. That's what our job is, to kind of work through it with you. So on your left, we have lathes, and we've passed some arbor presses, things like that. So you would put a piece of metal in the lathe there. The lathe spins. There's a cutter on the lathe that's going to cut that metal down, and you'll cut it to the size that you want there. So I'm going to ask that, I think this is pretty well the end of this one anyway. So if we can bring the next shop. Just as we're waiting, there is also a co-op. Oh, here we go. So this is a pneumatic lab, and I'm going to see if we get a pause there real quick. But the pneumatics lab, in here we have we'll build pneumatic circuits. So pneumatic circuits are going to be supplied air pressure. Everything that you build in pneumatics, and we're going to take hydraulics, goes through a drawing, just like an electrical circuit. You'll get a drawing that will say, I need this to happen, and you'll be able to follow all the different symbols and things you see to make air power do some work somewhere. So if we can continue here, there are simulators that you'll also use that's on the computer here you're going to see to your left as we move forward. That computer is currently running a pneumatic hydraulic simulator. So you'll see on there, it is doing the exact same type functions that the pneumatic trainer you just saw to your right is. The pneumatic simulators do the same things. They're just simulating it with the actual symbols that we use. We have some real nice SMC trainers there that are basically go through all sorts of automated pneumatic systems. As we go forward, this is a new lab that's still being renovated, but it's going to have some more really nice equipment in it. As we go forward, you'll also see a hydraulic trainer. The hydraulic is very similar to your pneumatics. So when you take pneumatics, you're going to get pneumatics into hydraulics. Hydraulics is used a lot of times when you need a lot of pressure. If you're going to move something that's really heavy, or you need to create something with a lot of pressure. But the symbols are very similar. How you create these circuits is very similar. And it's just basically about learning how to read language. As we go through the doors, you're going to come up into the main millwright shop. This room is being completely renovated and is still in renovations as we speak, as we go through these doors here. As you come out, there'll be turbines outside, or just outside those doors. So here we go, I believe now. So the turbines, if you go into one thing that this program started years and years and years ago was in heavy industries, the petrochemical, energy sectors, things like that. Turbines are used all over the place for these. And it's a very big skill to understand. And that's, again, like I'll mention again with the millwright trade, depending on what you like and what you enjoy. If you enjoy coding and electrical things, you can get into the PLC side of things through the millwright trade. If you enjoy heavy equipment, working with big compressors and big pumps, you can get into that. So you can really start to experience. You get to say, well, this is what I enjoy, and I can start to move my career in that direction, because the field is so big. Depending on where you work is going to define what you are as a millwright. Right here we have some laser alignment set up. So this is basically where you would put, as we move right here, we use lasers to make sure that rotating equipment is completely in line. If it's out at all and they aren't completely in line, you're going to destroy your pump on the right or your motor on the left. And when I say in line, I mean if I went up and leaned on it, or if you're out by the width of a hair, it's gonna throw out your alignment, and you're gonna have vibration issues. Here we've got we just had lucky enough to have 6 new hoists installed. So we do hoisting and rigging, where right there we have a little gearbox off, and you'll take gearboxes and things like that apart and go through setup. So you'll learn how to properly safely lift heavy equipment, and how to perform with it safely or work with it safely. We have nice 6 stations set up, so each area you're going to work in, each student's going to have the same things as the next one. We have a lot of tools. You're looking at a Gorman-Rupp pump right there. You'll get into some pump rebuilds. And our next shop we're going to go to is, I believe, our robotics lab, if I'm correct. And this is a beautiful new lab that we have. I'm actually a certified FANUC instructor. So if you enroll in the course and you pass our robotic class, you can get a FANUC certified instructor training certificate also. So that basically means that FANUC is certified that I am teaching what they will give me basically permission to print certificates from FANUC themselves. We have they're basically a few-year-old, 3-year-old FANUC robots. You will learn how to program those robots, work with those robots, set those robots up. Right now, it's running a program, I believe, that's tracing out some shapes. So you will basically do that same setup and teach it how to run. Right next to us, as it turns over here in a second, you'll see PLCs. You would have heard the electrical instructor talk about the PLCs. What that is it's a great big industrial computer that tells equipment what to do. So you'll also learn how to control equipment through a computer, through PLCs, and learn that language. Basically, so there's your PLC right to the left. Basically, we start everything at the very simplest tasks, and then we start to build you up and give you the information you need to build on as we go. Other than that, with our course, we have a lot, I guess, on the go, but I think I'm running over a bit. I should probably hand it back to John there.
Awesome. That was another really great overview and a really great tour of our facilities. Again, everyone can really see, even though we can't welcome you to the campus right now, we are bringing the campus to you this evening through all of these virtual tours, through all of these demonstrations. Again, you're really getting the inside look at all of our programming. So we appreciate that for all the work that our faculty did this evening to get everything ready for you. So thank you so much. Okay, we are coming up to the last program of the evening, and that is going to be our welding program. Now, Nikki, our coordinator, was not able to join us live tonight, so she did prepare a video that we're going to go ahead and play for you. So this is her showcasing exactly what happens in the welding program at the college. So go ahead and take a look at this.
Hello, I'm Nikki Noble, and this is the welding shop here at Lambton College. At Lambton College, we prepare students with the knowledge and capabilities to help them perform their best in their future career in the trades. Come with me to do some welding. Welcome to Lambton College's welding booth. Here in the welding booth, we provide students with the tools that they need in order to perform their best in the booth. So, included in each booth are a grinder, tip cleaners, chipping hammer, grinder wrench, striker, a wire brush, C-clamps, and all of this in order to perform their best when doing their CWB test in the end of the program. Here at Lambton College, each welding booth is equipped with their own machine. So depending on the course that the student is enrolled in, this machine is capable of welding with stick, TIG, whether it's mild steel, stainless, or aluminum, has high frequency feature, or MIG, whether it's hardwire, flux core, or metal core. What's special about our program? Not only do we teach the students how to weld, but we teach them with the knowledge and experience that they need to know about the ins and outs of the machines, how to set up, tear down, so that when they leave for the workplace, they can be more of a competent worker so that employer can rely on them. Here at Lambton College, every welding booth is also equipped with their own oxy-fuel cutting and welding torch. Here's the cutting. Come We teach that here at Lambton College. Here at the college, we also teach shielded metal arc welding, also known as stick. Pops right off. We teach several positions and procedures according to TSSA and CWB standards. Safety is our #1 thing, so we want to make sure that we teach students and also encourage them to be as safe as possible so that they can make it home every day. Plasma cutter, we got it. Here, got that too. Horizontal bandsaw, yep. Iron worker, you got it. Gouger, hydraulic press, can't do a bend test without it. We even have outside areas for students to be exposed to the other elements. We also teach you how to interpret and draw blueprint drawings. Don't know what else you need in order to be in the weld shop? Well, Lambton College has that taken care of. Just go to the bookstore campus shop and order your welding kit. In it is going to have everything that you need in order to be in the weld shop, including a welding jacket, helmet, beanie, gloves, a voucher for boots, and much more. With remote learning, you can stay at the luxury of your own home in your comfy clothes while still doing online theory. Especially if you have little ones at home.
And there we have it. So that was a really great look at our welding program, a look at how our faculty are teaching and operating their program, all while doing it at home and in the lab and all that fun stuff. So we really are, as Joel mentioned at the beginning, we really are customizing every program to really make sure that you have the best possible experience in the fall. Obviously, we don't know where the pandemic's going to take us next, but we definitely are looking to make sure you have the best possible experience that you do have at the college. So I will go ahead, that was the last program of the evening, so I will open it up for any other questions that you might have. I'll just give you a few seconds, a few moments just to type any questions that you might have in the chat, and I'm more than happy to answer those for you at this point. If you do have any other questions that come up after the event's over, our team is here and ready to support you. We have a number of enrollment advisors available to answer any questions you might have about our programming if you're just starting to look at Lambton's programs. So we have a live chat feature on our website. So if you want a quick contact with any of our recruitment staff, send us a quick chat on our website right away. We also have online program advising available. So if you want to meet with a program advisor, you can do that right away, and you can meet one-on-one, have all your questions answered, and all that fun stuff there as well. So we have a lot of resources available for you, and we're happy to support you through that journey. So I'm going to go ahead and see if we have any questions. I don't know that we do. So hopefully that you had a really great experience tonight. Again, the Lambton College team is here to help you at any stage that you are in your post-secondary education search. I want to thank you so much for joining us on the last episode of the series. Throughout this whole month, you got an inside look at all of our programming, so hopefully that really does help you make a decision, whether you're just starting to look at programs or maybe you have an offer to a Lambton program. Hopefully that helped you through your process and through your journey. Again, Lambton staff is here to help you and support you, so reach out if you have any questions. But until next time, I want to wish you a great evening, and we hope to see you in the fall.